Howdy everybody. So the new battle pass came out for War Thunder. I haven't done anything for it yet. We're going to take a test flight preview of the BV-155 because I can't wait to do it just because of how cool this plane is. So we're going to take a quick look at it in the hangar. We're going to take it into a test drive. We're going to go to 50,000, 20,000, and do some stuff on the ground, test the guns out. Because the guns are actually really interesting. And it has a very cool thing about it that probably no one expected or knew unless they knew a lot about the plane. I personally didn't know until I started looking at it and then took it into a test drive and actually played with it. So you're going to notice a couple things about this plane that are very weird. And this plane was meant to be a very high altitude interceptor. It was kind of done in parallel with the TOW 152. And as we know, the TOW 152 is the one that went in service and production. This one did not. This thing had issues. There's a lot of stuff. The history behind this plane is really cool. The reason why the altitude is 50,000 feet is because when they were designing these planes, they wanted a very high altitude interceptor that could take out B-29s. Obviously, overestimating it and putting it at 50,000 feet, B-29s were not there, but it could do it. There's a whole lot of stuff you can look up stuff about. Like, there's plenty of videos about TOW 152 and stuff like that. But we're gonna go into this. So, humongous wingspan, gigantic scoops for the radiators out on the wings, and a very high altitude tuned DB603U engine that makes this plane move. So the turn time is very quick, as you can imagine, with this humongous wingspan on it. And the climb rate, unfortunately, is not that good. There are higher things at this battle rating, and getting up tiered and climbing, getting to your altitude is going to be impossible. Getting to 50,000 feet in a 3.7 game is never going to happen. No one's ever going to be that high. The highest you might be is 15, 20,000 feet. Spoiler alert, it still performs pretty well there. And you get good with this plane, it is nice. It is nice. So the guns, we have the 220 millimeters out on the wings. They're not. They're right here. We have 200 rounds each, giving us 400 rounds, and we have a motor mounted 30 millimeter that is center line shooting out of the propeller hub. Really easy to aim. Now, the really cool thing that this thing has to help it shoot down bombers is that if you look on the cockpit, this cutout right here is meant for a scope. It has a scope built in for the pilot to help shoot down bombers and stuff at a distance. And let me tell you, it works. But in an air realistic game, I don't know how well you're going to use it because you're probably going to be getting shot at by tail gunners and you're going to be spraying, which is probably what's going to happen. But if you range your guns out for a very long distance, it might actually help. But I range them at 600, but the scope, it does help. The camo for the plane, the paint job looks really good. I like it a lot. It is pretty high up on the battle pass. It is the 50 reward. We'll show you. It is, well, come on, War Thunder. We didn't want that. It is 50 on the pass, 51. It's free though, so you don't have to pay for it to get it. But I recommend it just because of what plane it is. So we're gonna take it into the test drive, talk about it. We're gonna take it to 50,000, then 20,000, probably wrap things up. I'm probably gonna repeat myself a couple times about that, but I will see you in the test drive. Alrighty, so we're gonna do a couple things really quick. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna guns, cockpit, normal stuff, take it off, fly it around. I'm gonna go to 50,000 and I'm gonna come back down. Obviously, since I can't really fly this in a live match, so we're gonna do that. Decided before I even get started in the battle pass, like this stuff just dropped, so I haven't done anything yet. I just wanted to jump straight in and just give you guys a sneak peek of how it would be. We'll take it into a live match again and give actually a full review of this plane later. But first, we're gonna do this just to see how it does. So, one of the coolest things about this plane, other than the guns, the fact that it has a 30 millimeter and what 30 millimeter it is, and being able to just snipe planes out of the sky is that if you go in the cockpit view, we have a scope. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get behind these and turn around on them. And we're gonna lose speed doing that, but it is what it is. And, you know, we can just shoot the normal, you know, try to hit these planes from here and see what we do. We're not gonna probably not even hit them at all. I don't even know how far away they are. We're really not getting close. Actually, no, we are getting pretty close to them. So we can zoom in the scope. And, well, we're gonna try it. I mean, this would be what the scope is for, but the fact that it even has the scope is the coolest part of it. And if you get good at this, my guns are zeroed for 600. So these guys are a lot further than 600 meters away, but we can try it. The 20 millimeters will probably do the work. Or we can do that and take out both of them. That works too. I didn't expect to do that, so we can just spray. We're actually, oh my god, these guns. Taking out bombers is gonna be so easy in this plane. Oh, come on, just hit, stop going down. There we go. I mean, we're going almost 300 miles an hour. We haven't overheated yet. It rolls pretty well. I mean, we're at low altitude. This is a 3.7 plane, so we'll probably end up at this altitude just... Oh my lord. I mean, I knew this was what was going to happen with these the guns on this plane. But the scope is so fun. You can see it. It's got a little cutout in the cockpit for it. Now, in sim battles, this is going to be a hell of a lot more useful than it is in realistic. I don't know how often somebody would use it in realistic. I'm probably going to do it just because it's there. But, you know, in sim, when you're looking around, you can actually see pretty well behind you. The cockpit's pretty good. Front on, we have a pretty thick frame, but it's not terrible. And with the scope and stuff like that, we'll be able to snipe planes and stuff like you just saw. Now let's check. The turn rate on it is really well, as you can imagine, with having such a long wingspan. So, I really think this plane is gonna be kind of a nuisance at 3.7 for a little while, with the fact that it's got some crazy gun. Now we're gonna fly it under the bridge just to see if I can do it, and I mean, obviously I'm gonna make it. But look at that turn rate, though. Holy shit. Now rolling, kind of me, but it's not terrible. But let's take it to 50,000 feet because it can do it. We'll take it back down to about 20, and we'll wrap it up there. So, see you guys at 50,000 feet on the edge of space almost for a prop plane. Okay, we're at not 20,000 feet, Jesus, 50,000 feet. And the fact that this thing can even get to this altitude at 3.7 is insane, but obviously that's what it was made to do. It was made to be an insanely high altitude interceptor to intercept B-29s and bombers and stuff like that. It took a very long time to get here. You're never going to do that in a live match. Like I said, 3.7, even if you get up tiered to 4.7, you might be at 20,000 because of the BF-109s. This thing is very similar to the FW-190 in terms of climb rate, where it's not very high, but it performs well at the altitude. Not obviously 50,000 feet for an FW-190 A4 or AA or those types of FW-190s. The FW-190Ds and the TOM 152 better at high altitude. Now, when you're dogfighting people, it would be better to boom and zoom in this plane. I can already tell that without going into a live match. Boom and zoom is going to be the way to go. Rolling, it can do it. It's not crazy. It has its moments where it wants to be kind of quick with it. Normally when you're going left and right like this, it can do it, but when you go upside down, it really slows down to flip that plane around. Turning, it can do it. You can pull your I mean, I'm at fucking 49,000 feet, so it's gonna be a little bit different from where we would be if we were a little bit lower. The flaps are handling the speed just fine because even though I'm going 400, almost 70 miles an hour, the air is only 207, 210. So performance very good actually at high altitude. I have not let off a weapon once and I have not got hot. Now we can take it down to 20,000 feet and then we'll take it down a little bit more just to see how, you know, it handles and stuff like that. And I'm apparently going Mach 0.75 in a 3.7. Interesting. That's hilarious. Now, I know this plane is going to rip apart before I can even get to it, but I'm not even going to try. So, I'm going to take it back down, and we'll fly it around a little bit. But it's a very cool plane. I recommend getting it. And this battle pass is a whole lot better than the last one, in my opinion, because of the other extra things that come with the battle pass. And also, we're going to take a look at the other two vehicles. But this was the one that probably caught most people's attention, just because of how unique the plane looks and the history behind it. So, we're going to take it back down, see how it does. I'll see you guys in a minute. Alrighty, so we're at 19,000 feet. We're going to head down a little bit, you know, as we're going. So, I came out of a dive, so the speed is obviously probably a lot higher than what we would be normally. And I've noticed very quickly, as long as your speed is higher at about 20,000-ish feet, you know, there's a big difference between your speed and your indicated airspeed. I'm not going to go too far into it, but just know indicated airspeed is very important, and you can't just go off of just what the speed indicator says for different planes at different altitudes. There's a whole mess of stuff we could go into about that, but at 20,000 feet ish, it rotates a whole lot better, obviously, than what it would do. The turn speed now is ridiculous. Like, it is, you can black yourself out quick with this. And I mean, I don't know if it's going off of my level 75 crew or what the crew would be in this in a test drive, but the fact that at 16,000 feet, like, as long as you got some speed to it, the turn is insane. The energy retention is not that bad on it. Acceleration, me, after coming out of a turn, and I mean, we are going in a slight dive too, but it's not terrible at all as long as you got your speed and stuff. Now, obviously, if you're going to be trying to climb on somebody, I would not recommend trying to go into a zoom climb to try to catch someone. It just ain't it. Would not do that. But overall, I recommend this plane. Like I said, we're going to go into the other two vehicles that are in the pass, and we might take a look at some other stuff that are in it. See, I just lost control in it, but yeah. Anyways, guys, I will see y'all later.